Good morning, Bitcoin. We're live from the Latvian Honeybadger Conference in Riga, Latvia, for the last time to bring you Max, the organizer of the conference. How's it going, Max?
Bit devastating, but everything went fine, and we're very happy. And I think the conference was big success, to be honest. Yeah, so everything's good.
It's an incredible thing to run a conference. I remember one of the first conferences I went to was Bitcoin in the Beltway, and my friend Megan Lords was running it, and they had 3 tracks, and they were all spread out, and she was running room to room to room. Everything was on fire. The PA system didn't work. People canceled. People were late. People didn't show up. The food was bad. All kinds of problems. So how did it go for you? Were you running around like crazy, or was it smoother in your second year here at the Baltic Honeybadger Conference?
Each year we're running around like crazy, but we didn't have so much fuck ups as last year. And although this year there was twice bigger crowd, and of course there was twice bigger premises, but we get lucky that we stayed in the same venue this year, because last year we had 2 different venues, one on the first day, one on the second day, and it was bit like hectic. But yeah, this year went smoothly, I think, and everything went fine. Everyone is happy, at least as what I read in Twitter and hear from the people. So yeah, it was success again.
It seemed like it turned out great to me, but again, it always takes a full team of people to run these things. A lot of people are volunteers, some people are paid. It's a complex structure, and the real question is, are you going to do it again next year?
Yeah, definitely. We're doing Baltic Honeybadger 2019, and I announced it from the stage when I was closing the conference. We're going to try to do a second not Baltic Honeybadger, but maybe we're looking at Africa, actually, African Honeybadger. So during the year we will have 2 Honeybadger conference, one of course in Latvia, Baltic Honeybadger, and the second one maybe in more exotic location.
Yes, and really this is not a blockchain conference. This is not an ICO pitch deck conference. This is Bitcoin, not blockchain. And we need that. We need that quite a lot. There's, of course, building on Bitcoin, breaking Bitcoin, all these conferences, which are amazing. But the Baltic Honeybadger Conference absolutely is one of these conferences that is kind of like a Bitcoin mecca. You have to come here so to get in contact with all these speakers. So, how did you get all these amazing people interested in coming here? Because there are so many.
Yeah, well, we've been working for our reputation quite long with our exchange, which is Hodl Hodl, with a lot of stuff. We've been having good advisors. We had a good networking base, and after the last year, it was quite easy to onboard speakers this year, because last year when we finished, like 95% of all speakers came and they said, like, I will go there next, I will be here next year. And most of them, if you see, we have like 50-60% same people coming this year, but with different ideas. And I think these people can each year they can bring value to any conference, to be honest, because they have like idea constantly developing all the stuff. Like, for example, Elizabeth Stark or Adam Beck or Peter Todd, everyone is like, these people are developing, they're moving the sector and the industry forward. So it's always interesting to hear them. Would love to hear them each month, whatever. but if we will do it each month, most probably I won't have much time to run the exchange and all other projects. So yeah, something like this.
And it is all about the high quality of the speakers, which leads to the high quality of the attendees. I certainly never thought I'd go this north or this east. I look at Latvia on a map. It seems very far away from California. But I saw the list of people and I said, well, I should really be there. I should really be a part of that. And it worked out really great. We've done pretty much wall-to-wall interviews here in the room for the World Crypto Network. And it was fantastic to meet everyone and just to see everyone at the conference having a good time. Like I said many times, Bitcoiners just seem to have so much in common. I have common with other computer geek groups, but something about Bitcoiners, the unique mix of economic knowledge, libertarians, cypherpunks, science fiction, all these things come together when we get Bitcoin. And suddenly we're talking about Rocky and we're talking about Star Trek. And of course, Peter Todd's telling us how space miners are going to mine Bitcoin with solar panels. But there's some kind of time stamping issue as well. So Max, you have a question?
Well, absolutely. I had the same feeling because because I got introduced to the Baltic Honeybadger conference last year while it was happening. I saw Bitcoin Twitter was exploding with this weird like honey badger thing. I was like, what is that? I go watch the YouTube live stream, and by the way, thanks for live streaming it. That is so important. And it blew me away. Just the quality of content, the volume to noise ratio is incredible. And maybe what have you learned after the first conference? How have you applied that knowledge to the second conference? And now what have you learned from the second conference?
Yeah, so after the first conference, we've been sort of not accused, but a lot of people were saying that it was too technical. Although we do believe that it was quite interesting and not so technical. So this year we're trying to onboard more speakers from business development side, like VCs. We have Nick Carter from Venture Capitalism. We had Ragnar Liefnraser, who is doing the real estate with Bitcoin. So we wanted to represent a whole industry, a whole ecosystem, like miners, exchanges, developers, companies that work in retail sector, institutional investors, something like that. The second thing in terms of organizational thing was that we stayed in the same building, which was easier. And I think that was the main two things that we learned. And it's helped us a lot. So yeah.
And that's always what I try to do on my shows, is to learn something every time and to do the next show better than the last show. And as long as you're doing that, you're growing, you're getting better, and that's what it's all about. You can start from nothing, you can build up to something, but you got to grow and learn on the path in between.
Yeah, and also one interesting thing that we had like one-on-one chats or like speaking panels during the first day. So it was also quite interesting because it's a new format. Last year we only had like presentations and panels with 4 or 5 speakers speaking simultaneously. So this year we had at least one-on-one chats. So yeah, we did make our work on our mistakes, and hopefully we managed to do it quite good.
Of course, you are, I think, the founder of Hodl Hodl, and this is a not so decentralized exchange, which was a nice article that you published there. So maybe could you please go a bit into more, what is Hodl Hodl and why is it not so decentralized?
Yeah, it's a peer-to-peer non-custodial exchange, so we don't store any user funds. They are trading directly from the wallet to the wallet using an escrow, P2SH addresses that we generate each time. They're unique, so each time you engage in trade, we just generate a unique P2SH address on a public Bitcoin blockchain or a Litecoin blockchain, and you trade through this escrow. And this escrow has 2 multisigs, two keys, one owned by the seller and one owned by the exchange. So we basically cannot move anything, and even if the exchange will be compromised, the hackers won't be able to do anything because they need a second key, which is generated on the front end on the user machine. So we don't own that. Now we will release in 2-3 weeks. We will release new multisig system, 2 out of 3 multisigs. So basically with 3 keys, 1 goes to seller, 1 goes to buyer, and 1 goes to Hodl Hodl. So we will be more flexible in releasing funds in one or in another direction in case of dispute will occur. We're also working on peer-to-peer futures based on Bitcoin. I made an announcement yesterday, which will use the same smart contract base that we're building. So there will be no centralized authority. Basically, users will agree with each other on the outcome of some things. It will be purely peer-to-peer using the same escrow. And why not so decentralized? Because we still have a website. We're not. I believe, and honestly, I believe that the only decentralized exchange solution is BISC out there, because it's a software. It basically could not block it, and we don't compete with each other. We've been speaking yesterday with one of the guys who is working with BISC, and last year with Chris Beams, who was also attending the Honeybadger conference. We're not competing with each other basically as a peer-to-peer. We're competing with centralized solution that stores centrally funds. So we're somewhere in between BISC and local Bitcoins. So we don't store funds, user funds, as it is on local Bitcoins, but we also have a web interface. So in case if any government would love to block us, they will be able to do so. But of course we have plan B, plan C, and then, for example, local Bitcoins are blocked in Russia, and the highest volume of trades are still in Russia because people use VPN, people use like mirrors and all other stuff. So it's not a problem. But still we have some centralized point, of course.
And by the way, I love your product, and I've been telling a lot of people about it because it really is a just amazing service and amazing, well, not so decentralized exchange, though it is peer-to-peer. And well, the question then is, why are you doing this Baltic Honeybadger conference? This is not your business model, right?
Yeah, actually, it's well, it raises brand awareness. But to be honest, the initial idea was that we've been attending with my co-founders so many shitcoin conferences and and blockchain conference last year, and the hype was just unreal. People were like, these blockchain specialists, they were coming, they were saying like, and I was and a lot of people who were just entering the market, they didn't grasp the real thing, they didn't understand, and that's why we wanted to create something real so people can actually come and learn and to understand from the beginning what is the pure crypto, what is the like cornerstone of the crypto, to learn about Bitcoin. And we want to remove the narrative, blockchain not Bitcoin. We want to do it otherwise, Bitcoin not blockchain, although we do understand technically both of things are connected, of course. And the second thing actually was that we just thought we need to give away something to community. And actually last year's conference was purely non-profit. We didn't earn, like, because we didn't have any sponsors last year, big sponsors. This year we have sponsors, but we also spent more. And yeah, so it's our giveaway to community, because we love community, consumers, people that support us, people that are within crypto. Because as I say, each time I enter the room with crypto guys, I'm the dumbest person in the room, and that's what fascinates me, because I was working 10 years in the banking industry, and usually each time I was in the room, and I'm saying that I'm the smartest guy, but usually I was one of the smartest guys in the room. And there's always room to improve, and there's always room for self-development, for learning in Bitcoin and in crypto in general. So yeah, so basically it was a giveaway, and basically it was an educational effort.
And I think it'd be a good idea now to recognize the sponsors of the Baltic Honeybadger Conference. We'd like to thank Social Discovery Ventures, Hodl, of course, Hodl Hodl that we just talked about, and Oracle Tang Space.
Yeah, it's not. These are not sponsors; these are organizers. But to recognize sponsor, I would like to thank Trezor Team, Slushpool, Bitonic Exchange, and BTC Beat, and Atomic Wallet. So these are people and organizations that supported us through the journey. So thank you very much.
And now you at home know what to do. Go out and support those companies. The companies that support Bitcoin and bring great conferences like this to us, we need to then go use their services, use their products, especially if it lines up with what you're going to do anyway. But just please check out those companies. And thank you so much to those companies for sponsoring this convention.
Absolutely, and I think this is just shows how beautiful Bitcoin is, because yes, you are giving away, and maybe even doing this not at a profit or even at a loss with opportunity costs, right? But nevertheless, because we increase the awareness of Bitcoin, because we increase the amount of quality content in this network, the value of the network grows. Right? And that means that the value of Bitcoin grows. And I'm sure you hodl a few Bitcoins. So in that sense, sooner or later, this will come back to you. And this is only, of course, one way that that incentivizes being active in the community. But maybe do you see some other reasons and some other positive ideas that people have in doing this, in supporting the network?
Well, I think the main thing is to spread the word. I think the main thing is to educate people, because as soon as we will get at least some kind of vision of mass adoption, I think all the hodlers will be happy, and the life will be much more easier because we will be able to pay with Bitcoin anywhere basically. So yeah, that's we need to raise awareness of the crypto and Bitcoin in general, and these conferences of that type are proving that people are really interested, because last year some of the people were saying where the price was rising, so it was a hot topic, so that's why everyone attended. Well, this year we announced conference at the price twice lower than it was like in January, and then the price even fall down up until now. It's like six with a half, something like that USD, and still we managed to sold out twice more places than the last year. So it's not a question of price. I think it's a question of Bitcoin as a social, economical, ideological, political effect that actually brings the freedom, financial freedom to masses. That's the main point.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Max, for organizing the conference. And thank you to all the volunteers and the workers who worked on the conference, and Hodl Hodl, and just everyone that was involved. It was a great conference. Thanks so much for joining us. We know you're tired. You're ready to take some time off. We're ready too. We've been doing wall-to-wall interviews right here on the World Crypto Network. So be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below. That really helps people find the show when you give us the thumbs up. Remember, they're free. And maybe we'll even be back here next year for another Baltic Honeybadger.
You will be definitely here, and well, as we discussed, maybe you will be as well on the second conference. Why not? It will be great. Would be great.
Africa would be amazing. We'll have to see back in 2019. So until next time, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Max, anything you'd like to say in closing? This is the last video of the set. This is the one.
Oh, the pressure, the pressure. Well, I have to say, I might sue you, actually, because my mind was sufficiently blown so often during these 2 days, and it physically hurts. And the depth and the width of topics and the range of topics that you can discuss here is mind-boggling. And it's so stimulating, this Bitcoin economy in general, because it is such a vast ecosystem with so many nuances. And getting all these amazing Bitcoiners together to discuss new ideas, to bring this Bitcoin towards freedom, towards liberty.com. And I really want to thank you for organizing this. This is the Bitcoin conference, well, we are really grateful to maybe then, when we have the next conference in Africa, to get a couple real Honeybadgers, because that's right where they are. So that might be something that I'm really looking forward to, actually seeing if the Honeybadger gives a shit.
Well, and I thought for sure he was going to sue you over the name. Maybe he'd be Max and you'd end up as Max Cash or something like that. But thanks again, Max. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. We hope to see everyone next year on 2 events, and we hope we will be able to do the second one, because it's always a crazy time. But we'll do our best. Thank you. Thank you.
And until next time, bye-bye.